At first, there is no sound, no warning sirens, no explosions, no screaming, just a flash, brighter than the sun. And for a fraction of a second, Europe stops existing. If you are close enough, you never hear it. If you are far enough, you watch the world die in silence. This is not politics. This is not theory. This is the first 15 minutes after a nuclear weapon detonates over Europe, and almost no one understands what is happening until it's already too late. It happens without drama. At 8:42 local time, a single nuclear warhead detonates above a major European city. Not on the ground, in the air. An air burst, designed to maximize destruction, not craters. For a fraction of a second, the temperature at the center of the explosion reaches several million degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. Buildings do not burn, they disappear. Steel softens instantly, glass vaporizes. Human skin ignites before pain can register. Within a radius of several kilometers, the flash is visible through closed eyelids. People instinctively turn their heads. That reflex costs them their eyesight. Retinas burn, vision is lost, permanently. For those closest to the blast, death is instantaneous. No fear, no suffering, just light and nothing after it. The silent kill. For the first few seconds, the city is unnaturally quiet. There is no explosion sound yet. That comes later. This silence is deceptive. It is the moment when gamma radiation spreads outward at the speed of light. Invisible, odorless, unstoppable. Anyone within the inner blast radius receives a lethal dose before they even realize what has happened. Cells are torn apart at the atomic level. DNA unravels. For many, death will not be immediate, but it is already guaranteed. They just don't know it yet. The shockwave arrives. Then comes the sound, a deep rolling thunder, not an explosion, but the sky collapsing. The shockwave travels faster than any hurricane. Buildings are crushed outward, cars are flipped like toys. People are thrown through the air, slammed into concrete, walls, each other. Lungs rupture, eardrums burst, internal organs tear loose. Those indoors are not safer. Windows become knives, walls collapse, ceilings crush. Families gathered around breakfast tables. Entire neighborhoods are flattened in seconds. Firestorm. Ignition, fires start everywhere, all at once. Thousands of ignition points form simultaneously. Curtains ignite, furniture ignites, clothing ignites. The heat is so intense that fire no longer needs oxygen from the ground. Air itself is pulled inward toward the center of the blast. Winds reach hurricane strength, feeding the flames. People trying to flee are dragged back toward the inferno. The firestorm forms, a self-sustaining wall of heat and smoke that consumes everything inside it. Temperatures rise above 800 degrees Celsius. Nothing living survives within it. The city disappears. From above, the city no longer looks like a city. Street grids vanish, landmarks collapse, entire districts blur into a single blackened mass. Emergency services are gone, police stations destroyed, fire stations burning, hospitals overwhelmed or erased. Phones stop working, cell towers are down, fiber lines severed, satellites struggle through ionized air. The city is cut off from the world, and the world from the city. Panic without information. Survivors stumble through smoke-filled streets. Many are blind, many are burned, many are bleeding internally. No one knows what happened. Some think it was an earthquake, others believe it was a gas explosion. A few whisper the word nuclear. Most refuse to believe it, because accepting it means accepting that everything has changed. Else, radiation. You can't see. Fallout begins to descend, not immediately as dust, but as invisible radioactive particles suspended in the air. Breathing becomes dangerous. Every breath delivers radiation directly into the lungs. People seek shelter. Basements, subway tunnels, underground garages. Some places help, others become traps. Without ventilation, radioactive particles concentrate faster. Shelter becomes poison. The lie of survival. Those who can still walk believe they are safe. They are not. Radiation sickness does not announce itself immediately. It waits. Cells begin to fail silently. Nausea, dizziness, metallic taste in the mouth. Early signs that the body has been fatally damaged. But for now, adrenaline masks everything. People help strangers. They carry the wounded. They search for loved ones. They don't realize that touching contaminated skin spreads radioactive material. Every act of kindness carries death with it. The sky turns black smoke from the firestorm, rises kilometers into the atmosphere. The sun disappears behind a growing wall of ash. Day turns to dusk, then to night. Ash begins to fall like snow. Not from clouds, from the city itself. Each particle is radioactive. Each breath becomes a gamble. Governments go dark beyond the blast zone. Alarms finally sound. Military sensors detect the detonation. Satellites register the thermal bloom. Command centers light up across Europe. But for the people on the ground, none of this matters. There is no rescue coming. Borders close. Airspace shuts down. Armies mobilize. But they are too far away. The city is alone. The second wave of death. Those who survived the blast and shockwave begin collapsing. Radiation sickness accelerates. Vomiting becomes uncontrollable. Bleeding begins under the skin. Confusion sets in. Parents cannot recognize their children. People lie down, exhausted, and do not get back up. The streets fill with bodies, some dead, some dying, some begging for help that no longer exists. The fire consumes everything. The firestorm reaches peak intensity. Oxygen is sucked from shelters. People suffocate without flames touching them. Concrete cracks, steel buckles. The ground itself radiates heat. The city core becomes uninhabitable permanently. The world watches. Live feeds reach international news. Grainy satellite images, blinding white light, a city-shaped scar on the map. Commentators struggle to speak. There are no words prepared for this, no language for the end of a city. Markets halt trading. Flights are grounded worldwide. Nations activate emergency protocols. But the dead keep dying, regardless. Realization. Survivors finally understand. This was not an accident. This was not terrorism. This was nuclear war. And if one city was hit, others may already be next. The psychological collapse. Hope collapses faster than buildings ever did. People scream, pray, freeze in place. Some run toward the blast zone, believing death is better than waiting. Others hide and refuse to move. Society ends here, not with lawlessness, but with shock. No rules remain. The point of no return. Military commands around the world prepare responses. Retaliation plans unlock. Submarines receive orders. Missile silos come alive. The first detonation was not the war. It was the beginning of the war. Hell is open 15 minutes after detonation. The city no longer exists as a functioning place. Hundreds of thousands are dead. Millions are contaminated. An entire region is poisoned for generations. And the worst part? This was only one weapon. Thousands more still exist, waiting. They say nuclear war would end the world in minutes. They're wrong. It ends it in moments, and then lets it die slowly. This was the first 15 minutes of hell. What happens next will decide whether humanity survives at all.